Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch with you guys the first episode of the season 8, the final season of My Hero Academia. Are we prepared for that? Are we truly prepared for that? For the final season of My Hero Academia? I'm not sure. If you don't know me, I watched all of My Hero Academia, all of the seasons, all of the OVAs, all of the movies. You can find all of my reaction videos on a playlist that I made for My Hero Academia. I'm gonna put the link into the eye and you're gonna have all of the videos into the chronological order in case you want to rewatch everything. If you don't know it, also I watched My Hero Academia Vigilance. Maybe you didn't even know that this show exists or just maybe you didn't know that I reacted to it. So same, I'm gonna put the link into the eye for the playlist that I made for it, and right there it's gonna be the final season, guys. The final season of this show. That's gonna be something, you know. Oh, warning! Right there on YouTube, you're gonna have the intro and the review part, but for the reaction part, it's gonna be through a link into the description. Why? Because I had issues, you know, when I reacted to Jujutsu Kaisen. And in fact, I understood with that now I can't put reaction part for animes right now on YouTube. It's too dangerous. Not only, you know, I risk something for the video, but I risk something for my entire channel. So no, I'm not gonna do that. You know, guys, I love you a lot, but no. So it's through a link into the description that you can have the reaction part for these reaction videos for My Hero Academia. Into this reaction part, I still respect the usual fair use rules, meaning that it's a cut version, meaning that I'm not putting the entire episode and stuff like that. Like, I'm still respecting fair use rules because it's like that. I want to be respectful with the studios, with everything. And if you want, in fact, everything, my reactions and my thoughts to the entire episode, it's on my Patreon. It's with the level 3 on my Patreon that you can have everything. My reactions and my thoughts to the entire episode. You're gonna have that advantage on my Patreon, and for the entire season you're gonna have also the advantage to have these reaction videos earlier, one day earlier. It's to encourage you to join me on my Patreon and also to give you an advantage for those of you who are already on my Patreon, already supporting me right there. I'm a little reactor, so each little help can be appreciated and truly useful, and I want to give you something in exchange, you know, for that support that you can give me right there. Wait, I warned you about the reaction part. You know, I'm thinking, what do I need to tell you really at the beginning of this intro before beginning to talk about what is gonna happen during this final season? I'm so stressed, guys. I'm so fucking stressed. I think that it was for the organization. I told you about Patreon. I told you about what is gonna happen for YouTube. I told you why. That's it. Let's move on. Guys, for this final season, we have only the big fights left. Like, that's it. I'm not sure I'm prepared for that. For All Might, you know, in front of the Master. You know what I think? I'm repeating it since so long now. I think since seasons, in fact, that for me All Might is gonna die at the end. You know what I think? You know that, in my opinion, in shows, movies, books, everywhere, animes, at some point the mentor has to disappear for the hero to shine on their own. And I have the impression that it's gonna happen for All Might. Even if, you know, the fact that he lost all of his power, it was kind of disappearing, so I was like, maybe in fact it's gonna be enough, and in fact we don't need to kill All Might. It could be cool, but right there, the fact that we have the Master in front of All Might directly, for sure it's gonna be an epic fight. For sure it's gonna be intense and emotional, but I'm truly afraid about the end of it. Because again, it's the mentor, the figure of the mentor, the figure of the old superhero that everyone loved and still loves, in fact, that much, but you know that everyone is looking at like is an example. So I have the impression that Yes, he might die during this season, this final season even more. I thought that it would happen last season, so for sure I'm gonna be afraid for that to happen during this season. How is it gonna happen? For me, he's gonna win against the Master, but really by giving his last breath, you know, his last things into the battle. I'm sorry, that's what I think, at least that's what I'm afraid of. And for sure, after that, during that, at the same time, we're gonna have Deku fighting Shigaraki. And that, it's gonna be even more intense, more epic. For sure, I want for Deku to win at the end, but I don't know how it's gonna happen, what is gonna happen during it. I still have that theory that Stain needs to intervene at some point. For me, we never closed, in fact, his narrative arc, you know, all of what happened with his character. For me, there is really something about his character, his vision of superheroes, and right there, he needs to intervene at some point. That's truly something that I'm counting on, you know, for this final season, to have Stain intervening at some point. For sure, I care about all of the other characters, clearly, but during the previous season, we already finished stuff, you know, with Dabi, with Toga, so normally for all of that we're cool. We have other battles going on, but nothing, I think, as important, as big than Shigaraki against Deku and All Might against the Master. Okay, guys, let's go for this episode. I'm so stressed, and at the same time I'm so excited to be back, because even if I watched My Hero Academia Vigilance and it was great to be into this universe for some time, clearly it's not the same to be back with the original show and with our characters, all of our characters. So I'm impatient and I'm excited, but at the same time I'm so stressed, I'm so afraid about what is gonna happen. Please not during the first episode. Please. Can you give me that? Not during the first episode. Don't kill anyone during this first episode. Please. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, the reaction part into the description. Still respecting the fair use rules on that one. If you want my reactions and my thoughts to the entire episode, it's on my Patreon. Let's go for this episode. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it! For those of you who are discovering my channel for the first time, you're gonna be like, ah, that's it, you saw spoilers about it, so that's why you knew that Stain would intervene. Go watch my reaction videos to the previous seasons and you'll see that in fact I'm talking about Stain regularly to say that this guy that we met, it was the first season or second season, I can't remember, but really that we met so long ago, all of what happened with him, how he was introduced, and the fact that he was saying good stuff, you know, but he was doing bad stuff, like all of what happened, the background of this character, how he was introduced, and the fact that with time he saw superheroes, what they were doing, how they evolved, and he evolved himself. In fact, we never had a closure for this character and for his evolution. And for me, before the end, Stain needed to intervene and for sure to fight with our guys, to help our guys, to represent the fact that he changed his mind about superheroes, that he saw that all guys, they are good ones, you know, and that they are doing the good stuff. So really, I knew that Stain would intervene at some point. I didn't know when and where, also in which fight. And the fact that right there we had All Might being such in a bad position, for sure I wanted for him to intervene right there, because it was the perfect time, and in fact it was the perfect time with the perfect person, with All Might himself, because of the fact that he represents the old biggest superhero, the one who was present in fact when Stain began to do his stuff. So the fact that he's intervening to help All Might, it's even more meaningful for what All Might represents for everyone, but also now for Stain, the fact that Stain trust him, you know, like wants to save him. It's even more meaningful for All Might, for Stain, for everything. That's so fucking great. I'm glad that I was right. I love when I'm wrong, just know it. I love also when I'm wrong, when a show, an anime manage to surprise me. But I love also to be right, and even more right there when we have All Might being such into a bad position, and I'm so afraid for him, like right there. Because also I have that other theory since a long time that All Might die before the end. I even thought that it would happen season 7, so for sure I'm afraid for him for this season 8, which is gonna be the last one. Again, because I have that thing about the mentor has to die at some point. I said it for all animes, movies, books, shows, everything. That's one of my convictions, and in fact it's something which is happening in all books, movies and stuff like that. Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, kind of, you understood. And also everywhere you have that thing, so for sure right there I was afraid for All Might. Even if I was surprised by the fact that his armor was so great, so powerful. It's so cool and so sweet that all of the powers that he put, you know, that which are involved into this armor, it's class A powers, and it's really like he learned from them. He thinks that they are so great that he wants their powers, and at the same time it's also symbolic, like they are with him right there for that final battle. It's so meaningful, you know, and so symbolic, and that's so cool. And for sure it was impressive to see him fighting like that. I wouldn't say that the master was really disturbed by it, at least he's not showing any sign, but also he's so mad right now, in the sense, you know, he's so crazy right now that maybe he doesn't know all of the damage that he took during this fight, or how bad it is for him. You know, I'm wondering, the fact that he's responding like that and he's acting like that, does it mean that in fact it was clearly not enough and that we just made a little of damage and we're really far from finishing him? Or is it because of the fact that he's so crazy right now that he can't feel all of the damages that he took, and in fact we're close to finish him? I really don't know. For sure I would prefer the second option. But yes, this episode is confirming me that I'm afraid for All Might to die during this season. I think that he's gonna find a way to stop the master right there, but I think that he can die during the process. All of that speech about the fact that he's ready to die because in fact he shined so much, you know, that he puts that light of hope, of peace in everyone, and they are just reproducing it. And the fact that just after that we had Aoyama using his light, you know, to destroy this villain, like to stop this villain. For sure that was great, that parallel. I'm glad to have news about fake French guy, Aoyama, and clearly he had also such an interesting and big evolution through the seasons, so that's cool to have something about him, to have these little flashbacks also with him, like we had also flashbacks with All Might. Right there at the end, to have him and Invincible Girl, that's great as well, and we know now that they're gonna work together to get over these plants, to burn them. But yes, all of these discussions about All Might being ready to sacrifice himself because he knows that people are already following his example and doing what himself he was doing, so that's okay. It simplifies my impression that the guy might die. So cool, so cool. This season is gonna be intense and maybe a little too much. I'm afraid. It's like that, you know. I hope that you appreciated it. I hope that you appreciated this episode as much as I did. For me it was clearly intense and stressful, but at the same time I got so excited and I smiled so much each time that All Might was using one of the powers of our guys. It was so many references, so many cool moments. I'm so glad to be back also, so that's why I got so excited. But at the same time, the fact that I swore that much in French proves that I was fully invested and I was really worried for Mike during the entire time. Tell me what did you think about this episode? Tell me what do you think for this season, what we can expect. We're gonna leave it together, guys. And we'll see how it's gonna be. Okay, it's all for you and for me for today, so it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Hey.